Queer joy is, I guess, celebration. Queer joy is perseverance. Queer joy is accessibility. Queer joy is care. Queer joy is community. Sammy Kim, take two. My name is Sammy Kim. I'm 29 years old. I am Korean American, non-binary queer. My pronouns are they, them. I live in Bed-Stuy, New York. I am an artist, a writer, a healer, a community organizer, a sex worker, a sex liberationist, a friend, a lover, a caregiver, human being. My mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease when I was 5 years old. And at the time, I didn't even really know that she was diagnosed with it until I was more until like 10, 11 years old when I moved in with my aunt and uncle who live in Westchester County. And I moved in with them because my mom's condition at the time was worsening and both my parents had to focus on taking care of her health. But as I kind of saw her health change, I saw that her mobility changed, the way that she was able to control her body changed. And I think it kind of scared me a little bit seeing, my parental figure not be the powerful, autonomous being that I had relied on as a kid. I think year after year that went by and realizing that my mom's condition was becoming a very central part of our family dynamic that really shaped who I was in assuming a role of a caregiver and assuming a role as an empathetic person. I remember during those years, the thing that I really relied on was this sense of gratitude. Feeling grateful was a way for me to feel grounded in the reality of my situation instead of focusing on all the things that I didn't have, all the ways that I wish my family was different, all the ways that I wish that I was different. It was really hard, but gratitude was such a grounding thing for me. My journey with my queerness starts very young, but being Korean American, being Christian, it was something I knew I had to keep a secret, even though I didn't understand why. I just knew it wasn't something that was okay. When I was a teenager in my preteen years, really trying to understand who I am as a human being, I arrived at, oh bitch, you're gay. And when I arrived at that, I was like, okay, I have something to, a word to put to what I'm experiencing. But that realization freaked me the fuck out because I was Christian as well. And when I accepted to myself I was gay, I had to accept, that the teachings around me are telling me that it's not okay. I was operating in so much fear that being gay means that I won't be eternally saved, that I will be eternally damned, and that I won't go to heaven. Thoughts like that really scared me. And I think because of that, I tried to keep it a secret for so many years. I tried to suppress it and try to ungay myself, basically. I really had to choose for myself which way I was gonna go. Am I going to continue to deny this for myself, or am I going to believe in what feels right for me? And so I chose, I couldn't deny it anymore. I didn't come out to my parents when I came out to everyone else because I was afraid that they wouldn't accept me. But in that moment at 17, when my mom approached me about it, I had already been living as an out individual for 3-ish years, back at high school and with my aunt and uncle. And it wasn't something I really wanted to deny anymore. So I told her, yes, that's true. And we had a 2-hour-long conversation where she was trying to understand why I identify this way. She didn't really she was in such denial and she didn't believe that gayness is real in a way. It took a lot of time for me to explain to her, try to have her understand that this is something that feels true to me, that this isn't just a Western conditioning, that this isn't just, now that I lived with my aunt and uncle, that now I think like a different person, that I'm really growing into who I am, who I've always been. At the end of that 2 hour long conversation of us crying to each other, she told me that she can't accept this part of myself, but that I'm still her son at the end of the day. It just means that we're gonna have to take some time to figure this out. And that was a huge relief for me. So to this day, like my mom and my dad are still in denial of my queerness, but through and through, they've accepted me for who I am, which is a strange conflict, but I've come to the point that acceptance looks very different in many different ways depending on the relationship that you have with the person. And that's okay. That's okay. I entered sex work because it was an accessible way for me to make money with my body, not needing necessarily qualifications or references or whatnot. And, I could make as much money as much as I wanted to put my body on the line, as hard as I wanted to work was how much I would get in return. And I thought that made sense. And at first I thought it would just be a part-time job, a thing that I would just do here and there just to make an extra buck. It was something that I did very privately. I didn't tell friends, I didn't tell anyone at first because I was scared that I would be shamed for it, that people around me would judge me. They would think that it was a dirty, dishonest way to make money. It was also exciting because I think I also felt very desired. I think meeting with older men that had money, had a sense of power, feeling wanted by them and desired, in a way valued by them, made me think at that age that I, could be an equal to them, that I was finding value in this by being valued by other people that are valuable. Some of these people are men that have never come out before, that only do this thing behind closed doors. These are some people that feel sexually repressed, whether they're out or not. These are people that maybe don't feel accepted by society because they look a certain way, because they have a certain disability, because their bodies are just different. They also just want to feel wanted. They also just want to feel desired, like someone really wants to care for them. And so I realized my job wasn't just to be a sexy plaything. My job was to really take care of these people. I was doing so much work to provide safe spaces for other people and to heal other people. But at such a young age, I didn't know how to do that for myself. I didn't have the same resources and places to know how to replenish my energy, know how to replenish my physical, my emotional, my spiritual cup. I didn't know how to take care of myself after these encounters. I was giving myself away so deeply to people without really giving myself that same sense of care. As much as I believed in the work that I was doing was important, it was really deteriorated my soul. I defined so much of myself through sex work that sometimes it was hard to know who I was without being valued in this way. It was hard to know who I was without being a sexual being, without being a instrument for other people in a way. I think during the pandemic, I really had to reflect on these questions because I didn't have sex work to do actively. So I was like, without sex work, who am I, basically? Without being a sexual being, without helping other people, without being defined in this way, I didn't really know who I was. Why am I a sexual being in the first place? And it was actually during that time that I came to realize that I didn't just be sexual from a very early age. There was someone in my life growing up that would sexually abuse me and I would have sexual encounters with. I remembered that I was sexualized by someone else from a very early age, that I have sexual trauma, that I have long repressed. that took me a long time to even just remember and to name and to see that as an actual part of my life. My value was based in making this other person feel good, specifically sexually. And then if I didn't, then I was not wanted by this person, that I was not valuable. That was actually such like a defining reason of like why I am the way I am, why I try so hard to make other people feel good, but I don't always know how to do that for myself when it's just me, when I'm just alone, when I don't have another person to like contrast myself against, to define myself against. It made me cry because I was thinking that this would always define me, that this thing that happened to me, I can never take away. I think it was really helpful in knowing that it wasn't my fault. I always had this sense that there was something wrong with me, whether it was my queerness or not living up to the expectations that my parents wanted me, you know, growing up Christian, but also feeling like I had to be valuable. Like I just always was such a try-hard, because if I didn't mean something to someone, I felt like I had no purpose. The point isn't to take back, you know, my life and wish that I was a different way. The point is that I have experienced the things that I've experienced, and that, you know, like I'm grateful for these things. I'm grateful that I have a great head on my shoulder, that where I am now, like, yeah, like because I have been sexualized early on, because maybe I experienced these traumas, like, not that I'm grateful for that, but I'm grateful for what I've decided how I want to live my life after that, you know, like the decision that I've made moving forward to be someone that doesn't want to replicate that harm to other people, that actually instead wants to make others feel comfortable so that they don't experience the things that I've experienced. I think I felt very grateful that that's the way I want to live my life. So much of my queer joy stems from myself. It stems from being present in my own body and knowing that I feel so alive in my life, that I don't need to have all these things to distract me, to numb me, to take away from the pain that I've experienced. And so feeling present in my body, feeling present in this moment allows me to feel grateful. And this gratitude fulfills me. And I think that is such a sense of joy that I feel, is that no matter where I am, no matter what situation I'm in, I can just be present in it. I can feel it deeply. I don't have to shy away from it. I don't have to run from anything anymore. No matter where I am, I will be good. There's so much pleasure in that. There's so much, I don't know, like being your own best friend, you know, like just really loving the way that you are and not thinking there's anything wrong with you. Like, just because your pleasure looks different from someone else is not a wrong thing. It's a beautiful thing. I think that is a part of queer joy.